Ladies and gentlemen, James Arness's 1958 Willys Jeep in my backyard.
And how do you know about all this?
Well, I was there for 3 years in the 70s when Arness donated his ranch to Brandeis next door. So I was there. I saw these people. I talked to the grandfather. That's how I know. Hello, everybody. Welcome. It is a Saturday a.m. that I'm recording this video. This video is very important to me, and by the end of this video, you'll see how everything is tied in together. Today, we're going to talk about two legends that were such a big movie stars that they were almost considered to be a god. John Wayne and Mr. James Arness. You probably want to know who I am, where I came from, what happened, how come I know all of this stuff. And I believe that because of what I've seen in my lifetime and what I know, I should record this video so that some of the questions that people have may be put to rest. I came to this country when I was 13 and a half years old from Iran. When I was 15 years old, I attended a summer camp, whereas I ran the horseback riding program for 3 years at the summer camp. Next door neighbor was Mr. James Arness, Marshall Dillon on Gunsmoke. And he ended up donating his ranch to the summer camp next door. And that was the beginning of my education in life. You ask yourself, how could that be? Well, let me tell you. Mr. James Arness, who ran a cattle ranch in Simi Valley of 500 cows on a 1,500-acre ranch, had a head of his rancher, and his name was Johnny Varbo. Johnny Varbo was a cowboy. We used to call him the Marlboro Man because he looked exactly like the Marlboro Man, except he never smoked a cigarette in his life. He became my friend, my teacher, and my mentor. Johnny and I would see each other maybe once a month, and he would be telling me stories about James Arness, etc. You probably wonder what this is right here. To most people, this would be a piece of junk. Oh no, not to me, because I know the history of this. You see, they used to film some of the episodes of Gunsmoke at the James Arness Ranch, and they brought in wagons, horse wagons, and one of them had a broken axle, and they left it behind at the ranch. And I'm thankful to God that I got a chance to own this piece of history. Don't forget, they filmed many Gunsmoke episodes using this wagon in the episodes. Now, I think I better start telling you how John Wayne, the legend, is tied into my life. First, out of respect for all the cowboys that have come and gone before me, I have to put on my cowboy hat. I feel so good. Now let's talk about Mr. John Wayne and how he's tied into my life. I became known as the B-Man in Southern California. And because I have so many movie stars as my customers, on the news, when they do pieces on me, they refer to me as the B-Man to the stars. Watch.
Isaac Karazi, who's sort of like a beekeeper to the stars, not only has plucked bees from the backyards of some of Hollywood's best-known celebrities, but keeps a few thousand in his own backyard. Killer bees or not, Karazi says don't mess with bees.
Did you see that? That's right. I'm honored to be the B-Man to a million people, and many of them are movie stars. Again, let's get back to John Wayne. I remember the days when they used to have bumper stickers on the back of people's cars that used to say, "God bless John Wayne." I fully understand why that was, because he was a legend, and all around he was a very nice guy. Because I'm interested in all of this, yes, I have different books. John Wayne, The Code from John Wayne. Here is another book with many of his photos, and I look through the photos and the teachers, but I know a lot more than most people do, so let me tell you all about it. When I became known as the B-Man to the stars, John Wayne had already passed away. The people who purchased his house became my customers for many years. So I can say I did John Wayne's house, but he didn't own it when I did it. And years later, they tore out the house and built one or two mansions on it. So Mr. John Wayne was the legendary cowboy on the big screen for all these years. And later on, in like 1955, the producers of Gunsmoke went to John Wayne and asked him whether he would like to be the marshal on the new series called Gunsmoke. And John Wayne said no. And he ripped up James Arness's contract, which I've told this story in my first video of John Wayne and James Arness, and I got 41,000 views in 9 months just on that one video. Thank you everybody for watching our videos. And I saw the interest in people to do another John Wayne and James Arness video, because I know something that most people don't. The question today, and the reason I'm doing this video, is because some people, after I did the first video, contacted me and told me John Wayne was never offered the job of being the marshal on Gunsmoke. The producers of Gunsmoke went to John Wayne and asked him, do you know anybody to play the role of the marshal? Well, that's not exactly how it happened. You ask, how do I know that? Remember that guy I told you about, Johnny Varble? Johnny Varble, my friend, my mentor, my teacher, my idol, told me all of this. What amazed me about him is every time I would see him, I would say to him, Johnny, have you seen Mr. Arness? He would say, yes, I saw Jim last week. We had dinner, we talked, this, that. You know, if I ever met James Arness, I couldn't call him Jim. Could you? This is a god. This guy was so big during his era. And to this day, they're playing his videos on reruns on TV. Incredible. The longest running TV series in history of television is Gunsmoke. So, Johnny told me, said, that James Arness is the one that told him about the job being offered to John Wayne, and then John Wayne said, no, I know just the right fellow for the job. And he approached James Arness and told him, I have a job for you, I want you to take it. And if you remember, like I said in the first video, James Arness said, no, television is a fad. It's a thing that's going to be in and out within a couple of years. Wow, there is over 200 television stations on my TV. It didn't phase out. It became bigger and bigger and bigger. And just take a look at what television did for James Arness and John Wayne. My God, it brought them into our lives. It brought them into our living rooms, entertained us for all of these years. And to this day, I have a tingle in my heart because I know stories about John Wayne and James Arness because I knew a guy named Johnny Varble. He was best friends with James Arness. He was his ranch manager for 20 years, running his cattle ranch. And I believe Johnny Varble over any of the stories that are floating on the computer and people tell each other. And I'm honored to be able to tell you people what I know about these legends.